Dow futures point to 150-point gain after the US and Mexico reach a deal to avoid tariffs. US stock index futures pointed to a rally on Monday after the US reached an agreement with Mexico on tariffs, easing some of the trade concerns which have weighed on the market since early May. Dow Jones Industrial Average futures indicated a positive open of about 150 points. Futures on SA. President Donald Trump announced Sunday that proposed tariffs on Mexican imports would be suspended indefinitely. Trump said in a tweet, shares of GM and Ford, two companies that had a lot to lose in a trade battle with Mexico because of their production there, jumped in pre-market trading. Meanwhile, investors are closely monitoring trade links between China and the United States ahead of a key meeting between the leaders of the two countries. Speaking to CNN, if China wants to move forward with the deal, we're prepared to move forward on the terms we've done. If China doesn't, chipmakers jumped in trading on hopes trade tensions would ease further. Nvidia and a monster defense deal. Adding to the bullish sentiment on Monday was a blockbuster deal in the aerospace industry. Raytheon and Salesforce.com announced its acquisition of big data company Tableau Software on Monday. The $15 data out Monday morning showed China's overall trade surplus hit $41.65 billion in May, higher than what economists were expecting. Speaking to CNBC over the weekend, Francis Bruno Le Maire said that a US-China trade escalation would lead to an economic crisis all over the world. Outside of trade war, investors continue to remain worried about weak data from the U.S. Data on Friday showed the U.S. economy added 75,000 jobs in May, marking the second time in 4 months that jobs growth totaled less than 100,000. Economists polled, the major indexes are looking to build on last week's big gains on rate cut hopes. The Dow snapped a 6-week losing streak last week, jumping 4.7%, its biggest weekly gain since November. The S&P, UCNBC's Sylvia Amaro, Fred Imbert, and Spencer Kimball contributed to this report.
Raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.